I find that the word negotiation makes a lot of students nervous. There are a few every semester who love negotiating, but most feel either inexperienced or a little nervous, or they believe that they really don't like to negotiate at all. And I can understand that. If you asked me to negotiate a peace treaty or to get hostages back from terrorists, or even to buy 15 acres of land, I would feel unprepared too. But we aren't going to start off with those kinds of negotiations. And in fact, we aren't going to talk about peace treaties or hostages at all. Those are very specialized and well beyond the scope of this class. So, what we're interested in here is how to make the kinds of deals that will come up in all of our personal lives and in our careers. So, whether you've thought about it this way or not, you've been negotiating all your lives. You negotiated a later curfew with your parents. You and your roommate decided who would clean up and how the space in your apartment would be divided. You and your friends or significant others negotiate where to go on vacation and what to do once you're there. So, when we talk about negotiating in this class, I'll draw on some examples from personal negotiations. Now, that is not the purpose of this course. This class is supposed to be about business negotiations, but I think that's a good starting point for thinking about and trying some of the techniques that we'll discuss. So, the second kind of negotiation we'll learn is professional negotiation on your own behalf. The example most people immediately think of is salary negotiation. But this also includes things like what days you'll work, which is probably something you've already negotiated. One example of this recently for me was that last spring I wanted to teach a particular class, but it wasn't a top priority for our department. So I made a deal with my department chair to teach a particular class over the summer in exchange for getting to teach the class that I wanted. These kinds of small negotiations happen much more often than the big ones like what salary will I have? The final kind of negotiation we'll talk about is professional negotiation on behalf of your company or team instead of on yourself. Think about event planners, for example, who work on venues and contracts for their clients, or buyers who purchase products for their company. Some people find this kind of negotiation easier because it's usually for bigger sums of money, um, but that doesn't scare them just because it's about somebody else instead of them. They don't feel selfish. If you're afraid of feeling self centered in a negotiation, you might find that negotiating on others' behalf comes more easily to you. So, in the next few videos, we'll discuss the two basic kinds of negotiation, distributive and integrative, and we'll cover some very basic negotiating vocabulary that will come in handy no matter what the situation.